My name is Zane, and today I'm going to talk to you about some of the similarities and differences between four of the most common low brass instruments: the trombone, the sousaphone, the tuba, and the euphonium. So to help you understand how these instruments work, I'm going to talk a little bit about the parts of a brass instrument. Starting off with this. This is a mouthpiece. The mouthpiece connects to the instrument where it uses the vibration of your lips to make pitches like this.
Hi guys. So at this point, I'm going to talk a little bit about how brass instruments work on like a technical level. If that's not something you're super interested in, go ahead and skip ahead in the video.
Using the mouthpiece, players can tighten or loosen their lips, allowing them to change pitches. This loosening and tightening is called embouchure. When connected to the instrument, only a few notes will come out of the horn when the player changes their embouchure. This is what determines the key that the instrument is in. For example, this is a B-flat tuba. When I change my embouchure, the notes that should come out are B-flat, F, and D. So you'll get something like this. In order to change these notes, the instrument is outfitted with these. These are valves. Essentially, what valves do is they increase the amount of tubing that the instrument has. In doing so, it changes the key of the instrument, which allows you to get other pitches, such as this. There's two different kinds of valves. There's rotary valves, like these ones, and piston valves, like these. They both serve the same purpose, which is to change the length of the instrument, giving you different pitches. These two pieces are crucial for how a brass instrument functions. The only exception to this is the trombone, which we'll get to that later. So we're going to start off with the tuba. The tuba is the largest instrument in its family, and it is responsible for the low bass sound you'd hear in its ensembles. Its ensembles being the symphony orchestra, brass bands, and wind bands. With that being said, this is what it sounds like. The next instrument is closely related to the tuba, the sousaphone. Most people will recognize the sousaphone from seeing marching bands during college football season. The sousaphone has the same range and sounds similar to the tuba, although it is shaped in a way that makes it so that you can march with it. The sousaphone was invented by John Philip Sousa, who was an American musician known for writing marches. He noticed a problem with tubas is that musicians couldn't march with them, which is why he invented the sousaphone. This is why you see sousaphones in marching band. And in marching band, the sousaphone is given a little more leeway to play pop music bass lines, and it may be hard to pick up on for the untrained ear, but there is an auditory difference between the tuba and the sousaphone. With that being said, this is what it sounds like. instrument I will be showing you is the euphonium. It looks very similar to the tuba, and this is because it is in the same family as the tuba. In Europe, it's sometimes referred to as a tenor tuba. It's one of the core instruments in wind ensembles and brass bands. It's a more modern instrument compared to the others I've showed you today, which is why it's not as common in some of the more classical ensembles. Of the instruments on this list, it's my favorite by far. It has a similar range to the trombone, but has a much fuller and rounded sound. In my opinion, it has the most beautiful sound out of all of the brass instruments, and it sounds like this. The final instrument on this list is the trombone. You will probably notice the visual difference between it and the others. It has no valves. This is not a cause for concern because it has a slide. The slide takes the place of the valves on the other instruments by allowing the player to manually change the length of the instrument. It is commonly seen in marching bands, symphony orchestras, and wind bands. Out of all of the instruments I've shown you today, it is the most commonly known. This concludes all the instruments I have to show you today. They each have their ups and downs, but they all sound beautiful and have a massive impact on the musical world. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Bye bye.